We will see. Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Basically, today we are going to talk a little bit more about the Formula World, basically, you can say. And that is basically 38th number Formula. This word parts ongoing. Till 37, we have already discussed lots of things, basically. Now, basically, here we are going to talk about little bit detail about the Formula World related to company side, basically. For example, it's the Microsoft Corporation, SAP Corporation, SAP company, Salesforce is there. So basically, each and every companies are there. Basically, they basically how basically their cyber security is getting handled. Basically, for example, Microsoft operating system is deployed in the one computer. Then the computer is Dell, and here basically in Dell, operating system is Dell, computer system is Dell, and the operating system is Windows, and there basically .NET is deployed, and Microsoft Word is there, Excel is there, basically each and everything is deployed. And Microsoft project is there, project management plan basically, which is basically used in the project, doing the project management plan. If the project manager, project directors wants to do the design, the project management plan, that basically project Microsoft project are basically used. And so basically here we are going to talk about the one topic that is basically this is also connected with the cyber security, and here basically the formula words are getting more detailed basically. That is basically, for example, one person asked one question basically, "Sir, Guruji, how basically this Microsoft operating system is getting loaded?" That basically we never able to understand this basically. How this dot pixels get converts to one Microsoft operating system, and how basically this displays in this nice manner basically. It's basically one design which creates, and this is basically operating system which is converted to operating system. How basically this happens? Then basically the one of the designer basically who actually says that we are the people basically who are giving the power supply of the operating system basically. For example, one Microsoft operating system has taken around 3,000 city creation basically. So basically, when this answer was given by someone basically, then basically that person was shocked basically how that is possible. From 3,000 cities, basically one Microsoft operating system has been created. So this number basically can be anything. Here basically it's not about the number. Here basically we are talking about the concept basically. So from 3,000 cities, basically one Microsoft operating system, assume that it's a Windows 10 which has created. So basically, from how basically the city basically has how the live connection is happening. Basically, he was basically shocked. Basically, this was basically connected with, because the each and every computer basically is connected with the satellite. Basically, that is basically by default. That we have already told long before that each and every computers are directly connected with, but it takes little bit time. Basically, it does not directly gets connected to the satellites basically, but it takes time. It might be taking 1 hour, 2 or 3 hour, but ultimately the data gets converts to the satellites only. But basically, this takes time. Basically, each and every filtration happens, and lots of things happen. Then only this happens. So here, basically, we are discussing about the Microsoft operating system equal to which has created on the base of 3,000 cities. So one of the person told that the 3,000 cities basically each and every city's power supply, basically we are taking it, we have designed the power supply, and we have designed the operating system data basically according to that data, and the power supply and the energy data which has passed, which has to pass, and according to that basically the computer get display the Microsoft operating system, that is basically Windows 10 operating system. So according to that basically we are passing the power supply to the each and every computer. So basically power company have the list of computers which is basically created in the market. So for example, one HP computer or one Compaq or one Dell computer is already created. So that entire data basically is given to the power supply company, that we have designed this all models, and this all computers basically we have designed, and according to that basically each and every computer has to get computer is supposed to give this or power supply only, and that also at to this temperature basically. So like this basically this is about the operating system basically. If the this comes to the .NET basically, then basically whenever the .NET gets load, that time basically the special power supply are passed here basically. For example, if I say that .NET is created from the 500 cities, on the base of 500 cities, your Microsoft .NET has created. Microsoft .NET has been created. Then basically one person told that how is that possible basically. That's possible basically because in this basically .NET is also using one of the subscription plan which is created by the government, that is one text box basically you can say. So the text box is basically creation of government, and the government gets the subscription money from the Microsoft corporation basically. So like this basically Microsoft told that we have taken 500 cities. On the base of 500 cities basically the .NET has been created. So .NET has created on the base of these 500 cities basically. So whenever the .NET gets load, that time basically the power supply has is getting passed to the .NET from the 500 cities basically. On the base of that only, for example, in Vadodara city, .NET is somebody has opened the .NET. That time basically the MGVCL company have the data of operating system Windows 10, and they have the data of Microsoft .NET also. So that's why basically they are passing the power supply data basically. And like this basically MGVCL basically have the 1 month data already in buffer basically. And on the this 1 month can be one or 2 days also, can be 1 or 2 weeks also. So Microsoft MGVCL basically gets the 1 month data from the set of power companies, and the power company says that we have this data, and that's why basically we are able to pass the Microsoft .NET. That's why basically the Microsoft .NET is getting lower basically because we are passing the data which is given by the Microsoft Corporation. That is basically from the 500 cities we have already collected the data, and the data is of 1 month basically. So MGBCL says that we have the data of 1 month .NET basically, and on the base of 1 month basically we are passing the data. That's why basically your .NET is getting loaded. So just see basically to display one Microsoft .NET in the computer, and to so that the developer basically can do the programming. For that basically you have to take the data from 500 cities. So here basically how cyber basically come into picture basically, that also you can able to understand basically. So the basically here I want to say that Microsoft law basically has created for this particular 500 cities, and according to the Microsoft law, the cyber city has created their law. That is basically by default assumed basically because it's a Microsoft corporation property, and basically in Microsoft corporation, but the government has kept their property, that is basically kept their control also. That is basically text box. Each and every controls are created from the on the base of certain cities basically. So that is basically government secret basically you can say. So government secrets are not supposed to be disclosed. That is already we have already discussed that basically Microsoft Corporation has asked many times basically give the list of cities basically we want the detail of the tax amount which we are giving to you. So that was not given to the Microsoft Corporation because government had told that we can't share the detail of our secret. Then basically you will become the government. If basically we are paying you we are giving you our secrets, then basically you will become the government. Na? Then basically there is no need of the government also. Then one day you will say that you sit at home and we will run the government. Like this also government might have thought. That's why basically they are not sharing the secret. But the Bill Gates is still, sorry, the Microsoft Corporation is still telling that we want the detail, and we will take one day that this all detail. That's why basically we have hired, we have created Twitter, we have created Facebook, we have created lots of things. We have created Yahoo also. We have created Google. Like this, basically we have created lots of things. And one day basically we are going to take this detail at any cost basically. So like this basically the Microsoft Corporation told that you don't worry, we will take one day the each and every data basically. But basically, government is telling that we are not going to give the detail and we are not going to give the data because that's our secret and we are not going to give you. So like this, basically, how basically cyber came into picture. So cyber is basically Microsoft law created. For example, there are some 200 laws has been created from the each and every cities. Like this, basically, around 20,000 laws has created from the 100 cities basically. So that 20,000 laws which is created by the Microsoft, that 20,000 law is going to implement in this .NET .NET creation basically. So whenever you are creating the .NET application, in that .NET application, 20,000 laws has been already implemented basically. So 20,000 rules and regulation is already implemented. In that basically government rule are also there. Basically, for example, you are using the text box. There, basically, it's a government rule because that's the property of government, and the subscription has getting activated by the Microsoft Corporation. Sorry, Microsoft Corporation is telling that we are paying the money. That's why the text box is getting activated. So just see the detail basically. So Microsoft Corporation is telling that it might possible that one day our 20 crore, 20, 30 crore people basically who are using our Microsoft Corporation, they might face this problem. That's why basically we want the detail basically. Or basically it might possible that text box might not get display one day. So like this, basically the corporation in Microsoft Corporation is saying we want the detail of this text box equal to which has been created from the thousand cities, and like this basically the still the basically the uh, letter is getting typed that we want the detail of the thousand cities, that is basically thousand cities equal to which has basically text box from where this basically the text box has been created. So here basically we have talked that Microsoft Corporation .NET has created from the 500 cities, and 500 cities have around 20,000 laws, and 20,000 laws basically that directly connects with the cyber law because Microsoft .NET is getting used in the internet and in the PC. So by default, basically cyber law gets applied. Basically, whatever things you are doing in the software company, in the computer that is there, basically cyber law automatically gets applied. So here basically 20,000 laws has been already implemented when you are using the .NET. So whenever you are creating the .NET application, that time 20,000 law gets applied. So we are going stopping here. This is basically 38th number part, and then 39th part we are going to see a little bit more about the law, cyber security, each and everything. Basically.